I feel like I'm trussed up like a turkey.
I love the unpredictability. I love having to problem solve. So I'll report back tomorrow morning, or maybe in the middle of the night if I'm freezing and realise it was a mistake. But I'm curious to see if it'll work. And I went into the tent to get my second battery, only to discover, and that is not a good sign.
That proved to be a bit harder than I was expecting. I think I'm going to be okay. What a beautiful winter afternoon. It's cold, but it's absolutely beautiful. So this is the Hordern Valley in the Arthur's Pass National Park, and we're in New Zealand, so it's winter time obviously. We're going to head up for a bit of a camp up this valley here called the Southern Valley, and this is the valley that my whole YouTube adventure started in. 2 years ago I filmed my first video, and it's crazy to think it's been 2 years. So I thought it was fitting, seeing as it's my 2-year anniversary, to head up to the spot where it all started. And my plan is to light a nice big campfire and drink some red wine and catch up with you guys. So I'm going to head up the valley. We've got quite a few rivers to cross. That's why I am in my shorts. It's a lot safer to walk through than it is to try and jump across some slippery rocks. So if you've got the choice, I think it's always better just to walk through the rivers and then have something to change into when you get up to camp. Check it out. It's like a little stone shelter that someone's built. They've put a lot of effort into it. It's pretty cool. Right, onwards. Pretty sure that's my last river crossing. Awesome, we're here. This valley is incredibly beautiful, but really, really cold. So before I do anything else, I'm going to get some warm clothes on. I'm going to get myself nice and warm, and then I'm going to set my tent up. I think I'm going to set it up over here, a little way away from the fire, but close enough that I can still be all in one area. Nothing like a cup of tea to warm you up. I've just bought the one-person tent today, obviously because there's only me, but also because it's not going to be raining. There is a tiny bit of rain forecast for late morning, but I'm hoping to be gone from the valley by 10 AM. So because I'm not expecting rain, I don't really need a lot of storage space. I don't really need a lot of space in the tent to move around. I like to take my two-person tent even when I'm on my own if I know it's going to be really wet or if it's going to be snowing, because it just gives me more space to be comfortable.
But I think I'm going to live outside of the tent for this whole trip, except for when I sleep. So little one-person tent is fine. Ideally, I would prefer a 4-season one-person tent, and I have my eye on a second-hand Hilleberg Solo that I'd love to buy. They're just so expensive. They're beautifully made tents, and I'd love to get one. But for the meantime, I'm just making do with what I've got. And that tent is fine. It's a little Empire Atom, and it's lightweight and simple and easy. The only thing is, as you can see, it's completely mesh on the inside. But because it's completely mesh, it's not very warm. So I have made sure to bring my 4-season sleeping bag with me. And I'm hoping, like heck, that I'll be warm enough. We'll soon find out. I've often wondered about is whether you can put your sleeping mat inside your sleeping bag, whether having the insulation under your mat, the insulation of your sleeping bag under your mat, and your mat inside your sleeping bag, whether that's an advantage or disadvantage. I haven't even bothered looking it up or finding out whether other people do it, but I just thought I might give that a go this time. Got my sleeping bag liner, so sleeping bag's on the bottom, mat, I'll be in the sleeping bag liner, and then top of the sleeping bag over me. So I'll report back tomorrow morning, or maybe in the middle of the night if I'm freezing and realise it was a mistake. But I'm curious to see if it'll work. I'm going to change my socks now because my feet are getting really, really cold. And that's stupid because there's no reason to have cold feet when I've bought my waterproof socks. That's just silly. I can just walk around camp with these on. I don't have to put my boots back on. I will put them back on though because I'm going to go and get firewood. So just in the bush up there where I've seen a couple of dead trees, but they look like they're quite far into the bush. I might have to go exploring in there and see what I can find. This could be harder than I initially thought. Proved to be a bit harder than I was expecting. There's a couple more pieces. I had to go quite far in, so I'm just going to come and drag them back out, and we'll head back to camp and I'll process it all there. One of the things that can be a good idea when you're lighting a fire, especially if the ground that you're lighting it on, or the area that you're lighting it on, is not all that dry, which is the case here, is make sure you've got some dry wood underneath where the embers are going to fall. So it's great to make a teepee when you're lighting a fire, but make sure you've got something underneath as well. unfortunately, even though it looks dry, is not super dry. So I might just see if I can wander around and just pull some dry kindling off the trees. It takes a lot of work to get a fire going. I suppose it depends on where you live and what the conditions are like and what the wood is like, but not easy here. This wood is not actually completely dry. It was off a branch that looks like it had snapped, maybe in high wind. But it was really, really wet on the outside. And I'm not sure how long it had been dead. But seems all right inside, and it's nice to be able to chop it because I feel like it's creating more surface area, because I think these big pieces are really, really hard to burn. I think actually what I need to do now is get my wine and just put it alongside the fire to warm up.
It's lovely. I just want to get these rocks as flat as possible before I put the grate on, because otherwise I run the risk of my pot and pan falling over and tipping my food out, which is not a good idea. Right, it's pretty sturdy. Okay, so I have brought with me some Mexican chili, which is pre-made, and I am going to heat that up over the fire in the pot, and then I need to go and wash my hands because they're filthy, and then I'm going to make some fresh guacamole. I've decided not to bring corn chips. Instead I've brought garlic and lemon juice and olive oil and sour cream and avocado, and I'm going to make that up into a guacamole. Salt and pepper. Probably can't even see me through the smoke. This is really, really good. Really, really good. Got mozzarella on top. It's really stringy. I think this might just be one of my favourite camping meals. This is amazing. I feel like food's so important when you're out in the mountains. I look forward to my dinner so much, which is why I don't like eating rehydrated meals. I'm just always so disappointed in them. I've tried the Radix ones and they're pretty good. They're plant-based and I really like them. There's quite a few nice ones, but I wouldn't choose to have them unless I really needed to save weight.
So the battery on the camera ran out a couple of minutes ago, and I went into the tent to get my second battery, only to discover that my air mattress has gone flat, and that is not a good sign. After the last trip, I found a small hole. I submerged it in our spa pool. That's a really good way to find them. You see the bubbles escaping. I found the hole. I did a good, what I think is a really good patch job on it, using all the X-Bed glue and the X-Bed patches. So I did a really good job. There must be another hole. So I'm not feeling very happy, because you lose a lot of your body heat into the ground, and the ground here is especially cold. It's wet. So I'm probably going to have a very uncomfortable night and a cold night. Hopefully it's a slow leak, one of those ones where I can pump it right up, go to sleep, wake up 45 minutes later, pump it up, go back to sleep.
Who doesn't love playing with a fire? My parents would call us kids fire fiddlers. We just loved fiddling with the fire when we'd go camping. I'd call it tending to the fire. So mesmerising, I think. I think that's what it is. Well, I think we need to do a trip down to the river. And go get some water for hot chocolate and wash these dishes. So I've been thinking about my air mattress that's gone flat and trying to figure out if there's a solution. In my first aid kit, I have a foil survival blanket,
one of those ones that you can wrap around you to protect you from hypothermia. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to lay it underneath me. Because what that should do, as long as I put it around the right way, is this one way reflects the cold back down and the other way reflects the heat back up. So that will reflect my body heat back up to me and reflect the cold back down into the ground. And hopefully, I mean, that's not going to make it any more comfortable, but you know, like in terms of it being hard underneath me, but it's going to be a whole lot warmer, I think. I have a feeling you'll hear from me in the night. When I say goodnight to you, it's probably not going to be good night. You're probably going to hear from me a few times in the night. So I'll let you know how my idea goes. You guys are enjoying the video. Thanks so much for watching. If you're still watching, then you're obviously enjoying it. I really love it when people leave me comments, so if you feel like saying hi, just leave a comment, let me know what you thought of this trip. Thank you so much to those people that share my channel or these videos with other people. That means so much to me. And if you know somebody that you think might enjoy watching these videos, yeah, share the channel with them, let them know. I would love to get to 10,000 subscribers. I am getting really close to 8,000, and when I get to 10,000, there's going to be all sorts of things that will come into play. I've made it my goal to get to 10,000. I'd like to open up YouTube membership. I'd like to do some lives. And there's a few other things that I'm thinking about. So help me get to that 10,000. Share the channel with somebody else. That would be amazing. Big special thank you to those people who've left me some donations on YouTube Super Thanks and Buy Me a Coffee. I'll pop your names up here, because between this video being filmed and then released, there's going to be extra people than those that I know about. So I'll pop your names up there. Huge thank you to you guys. I really appreciate the support. And I also just want to give a special shout out to somebody called Ian. You will know who you are. Possibly Ian might be my newest subscriber. I met him at the beginning of my walk today. He's out somewhere hunting. So this is the foil blanket, and if I'm right, it should have a silver side and a gold side. So there's the silver side and the gold side. To protect from the cold, silver side towards the body. So the idea here is that I can wrap this around me like a little Christmas present. Good night from the golden cocoon. I feel like I'm trussed up like a turkey, but I think I'm going to be warm. Well, no, I think I'm going to be okay. See you in the morning. It might be an early start if I'm uncomfortable and cold. I might be getting up early for that cup of coffee. So it was a very cold night, and when I was going off to sleep last night, I was a little bit concerned that the survival blanket wouldn't help to insulate me from the ground, but it was amazing. It worked incredibly well. So at first, when the air mat went down, which actually the second time it went down, it only took about 5 minutes, as my bones touched the ground, I just felt this chill go through me, and like I started to shiver. The ground was so cold, and it took probably 15 minutes for my body to create a cocoon of warmth, and then I stayed perfectly warm all night. And the irony is, often on an air mat I'll wake 2, 3, 4 times in the night just to reposition myself and get comfortable. I woke twice. I woke twice in the night. It was amazing. I think because the ground is actually quite soft. This is rocky ground, but it's got this layer of tree leaf litter and moss over the top of it. So I actually think the ground is quite soft. And with that survival blanket reflecting my heat back to me, I was toasty warm, like so warm. I'm so glad I did it, because I was thinking I was going to have a horrendous sleep. I now have a survival blanket that will never be able to be folded back into that tiny container that it came from. I'm going to have to buy a new one for my first aid kit, but hey, it was well worth it. So if you don't have one of those blankets in your hiking first aid kit, I highly recommend you get one. For me, it was just a comfort thing, to be honest. I wouldn't have died last night. I had a really good sleeping bag, and I could have ended up sitting in the tent in my chair and sleeping like this. I would have been warm enough being up off the ground. So it wasn't about survival for me, it was about comfort. But if you were in a survival situation, oh my gosh, that would make all the difference. Consensus on the socks, love them. I have been out this morning. I have down booties that I sleep in, so I had those on when I was sleeping, and then this morning I just took those off, popped on my waterproof socks, and I've just been walking all around here, happy as Larry, warm feet. So thank you very much to those people who've left me some small donations on Super Thanks and Buy Me a Coffee, because these are the sorts of things I'm able to get with those donations. Thank you very much. Yum. You know it's good. Pancakes are good. But one pancake is not good. You need more. I am going to enjoy my last pancake, and then I just need to pack the tent up and get my shorts back on for the walk out. The second time I came here, I stayed in a little shelter. So I thought we might go through the bush on our way back and check out the shelter and see what state it's in. I absolutely love these gaiters. These are outdoor research, I think they're called Rocky something or other. Rocky gaiters. I've had a pair of them for years and they've been fantastic. They did wear through at the bottom here, I think from my boots rubbing on the waterproof liner. So I actually tried a pair of the crocodile gaiters, which have got more of a like hardy reinforced canvas bit at the bottom here. Really good for if you're walking through scree, really rough debris, stuff that's going to rip at the gaiters. But unfortunately, because they're really stiff, they sit really firmly, and the length of them came up too high, whereas these ones here, because they're soft, they can gather a little bit, so they kind of accommodate any leg length. Highly recommend them. Outdoor Research Rocky gaiters. Really, really cool. So over the coming weeks I've got a few plans for trips. I'm hoping to get out into the snow again. It is winter and there is snow forecast coming up. It just depends on whether the timing is right and if it's in the right location for me. But that's the plan. I also have a new tent for car camping that I'm really looking forward to showing you guys. It's something a bit different, and I'm hoping to be able to get out and do a car camp nice and soon. It's a wonderful tent for sitting out in the rain, so I am looking for a lovely deluge of rain to head out and enjoy the features of this tent. So stay tuned, make sure that you guys are subscribed and make sure you keep an eye out for those. I also want to get Indy out with me again. It's always my preference to have Indy, but as you know, it's just not always realistic. This is a national park. She's not allowed to come with me. I could disobey the rules and bring her, but that would be against my values, especially showing it on YouTube. I don't want people thinking that it's okay to bring dogs into national parks. So she stays at home if I come into a national park, and she stays at home if we're going somewhere, if I'm going somewhere that is going to be heavily snowed, because I'm just not sure how she would cope, but also how I will cope with the responsibility of a dog in a situation where I really have to keep my wits about me. So I'm sure you understand. There's always more camping with Indy in the summer, and I do my very best to get her out with me as often as I can, because I know how much you guys love Indy. So I will send her my love. She is at home having a fabulous time with the family. Don't you worry about her. There are many adventures for her in our local community, but I'll get her out with me as soon as I can. When you roll a tent, you have to make sure the open ends are that way, because as you roll it, you get this pocket of air. And it gets caught like a balloon at the end. So you want to be able to squish the air out like that. There you go, that's better. The final push to get the things in. Come on, you can do it. It's always a bit hard when you've got cold hands. It never ceases to amaze me how much stuff I can fit in a packet. Well, I am all packed up and ready to go. Just need to get this pack on my back and say goodbye to you guys. So, goodbye. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this little trip, little overnighter in winter, in some beautiful weather, beautiful but cold. I absolutely loved having that fire last night. I am fascinated by how well the survival blanket worked. That was a really nice experiment. I've never had to use one before, and as I say, even though it wasn't a survival situation, I now know how effective they can be. So make sure you carry one. The last thing that we're going to do is just go and check out that little shelter. So I'm going to get my pack on my back and let's go and have a look at that on the way out. Alright everybody, thanks so much. See you on the next trip.